Greetings, listeners, and welcome to The Spiritual Experience, a show where we share stories of life, love, and redemption for all of humanity on Earth. So sit back and enjoy. Try to identify with the speakers and not compare. Don't forget to subscribe on all podcast platforms. I'm your host, Jay Lewis, and here we go. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, Spiritual Experience. Guess who's back? Wow, back again. Yeah, I've had a couple of weeks off. Honestly, just been really busy. And it's been a little bit crazy, and I haven't had time. I shouldn't say that. I hadn't make the time, really, to sit down with you guys, and I missed you. I missed doing this stuff. So it's Sunday. We're chilling. A lot of good stuff going on. Work has been really busy. Life has been good. My kids are okay. There's a lot of shit going on. My son just moved into a new apartment. With a roommate, which is, I don't know. It's, it's his life. It's his life. That's the thing. I can't, I don't really have an opinion either way because it's not really my thing, I just want him to be happy and be able to support himself and pay his bills and do whatever he's got to do. And that's like the important thing for me. Since we spoke last, you and us, a lot of things have changed. I had to face a lot of, adversity, I guess. I don't know is it really adversity? Is it just life? When life isn't going your way, or it's not even that it's not going your way, it's just that it is adversity. It is adversity, There was, whatever is in the news with, they overturned the abortion laws, and now everybody's getting all fucking crazy, and I try not to interject myself into that stuff too much. I'm happy to be where I'm at this point, where I don't have to worry about those kinds of things, so which is good. Because we're not planning on having any babies on accident or on purpose. But those decisions are never good decisions. It's never. Nobody ever walks away from that like, "Ooh, thank God I just did that." In the sense of it's always sad. The times that I had to go through that, it's bad, dude. It's never fucking nice. But, that's life. Anyway, so, how do I, I've been doing really good, actually, at meeting everybody where they are, and trying to understand where everybody's at. Not even understand, but try to empathize and really respect where everybody's at. So my son, he's getting on his feet. He's down there in Texas. And, he signed a lease for a bigger apartment that, him and his chick would have to stretch himself to afford. And that's it. So they got a roommate. So I'm like, bro, so you basically not, you just got a roommate is what you did. You didn't even, your life didn't change except you got a room. You used to not have one and now you have one. And that's okay. It's going to have to be okay. And that's the other thing because I think I'm just getting so much better at letting things evolve, just letting things evolve and just being honest about what's going on and really not interjecting my 2 cents or my 5 cents or whatever. I don't know. I normally don't really, listen. Is anybody ever going to listen and comply anyway? No. Yeah, so I was talking to one of my sponsees on today after a meeting, which was a really powerful meeting, the Greenwood Men's meeting. And yeah, we were talking about how, how to best handle the non-compliance of life and of kids. And I was telling him that, I had a nice cigar smoking day the other day, because the middle child, she started dating this girl. I don't know. They just, they're young, man. So they go from relationship to relationship. There's no, when you're young, there's no growth in between one and it's like next. Anyway, so they started dating this girl. Got to be 8 months or maybe less than a year ago. And the girl is quiet and seems to be nice or whatever, nice enough. She's complying to the rules of the crib of nobody sleeping over and whatever. And, either way. Anyway, so the girl is, I don't want to say undocumented. Is that the right word? I don't know. She had documents, but they expired. So she's here undocumented. And then so my kid comes to me. And then when they first started dating, I'm like, oh, Eastern European girl, Sheepshead Bay, undocumented. And I said, I said to my girl and the other kid, I was like, listen, I said, this girl might be looking for a green card. It's very possible. I said this like months and months ago, The girl has a bad time with her parents, or her mom. I don't know if the dad's around. But the mom, the mom doesn't like that they're gay or something. And, so I always tell my kid, I'm like, dude, like, why? This has got to be like maybe the, fifth, third or fifth girl in a row that she goes and goes out for these women that are always in these like predicaments. I'm like, dude, why are you looking? I always would say, like, why are you looking to make things so much harder on yourself? Like, what's the deal with that? And so anyway, so she so I'm like, dude, like there's plenty of women out there that will that are already out to their parents, number one, and that are leading productive lives and that are doing shit with themselves and really, could bring something to the table. But no, you want to specifically like, go after somebody who is, the parents are non-compliant and maybe they're not doing shit. And I'm like, bro, like, why are you like that? Not why are you like that, but why are you you're making that choice? Like, you're specifically making it harder for yourself. And that's, it's a bad thing, because because here's the other shit. The other shit is that like, they're a little bit slow moving in the sense of like the responsibilities and life and this and that and how they're going to move forward or whatever, like trying to find a career. Look, dude, they're fucking 22 years old. They do like Uber Eats on bicycle for like less, for little to no money. So like the ambition is just to like, daily walking around money and chilling, which I can understand maybe. I don't know, but I was like a lot younger when I thought like that. But that's how they lived their life, like it's like, what do you call it? Like a sedentary rock. Is that like the thing? Like, like a doing like a minimalist, but it's all of that. So like maybe I'm thinking like, dude, you should try and get somebody or try to have a relationship, an impactful, meaningful one with somebody who's doing something with their life. Because maybe that will help motivate you to do it. But I don't know if that's the case, because then it's just like, hey, look, somebody who's really trying to get it, like who's 22 and maybe halfway through school or just finishing school is out there hustling and trying to make something happen and whatever, you know, they wouldn't be a good, it's sad that for me, it's sad that my kid is not a good match for somebody like them, because they'd be like, oh, no, I can't. Like, this person's not doing anything with themselves. What are they bringing to the table? Their looks, and that's it. And they're, you know, they're funny or what, like, I don't know. Like, what, you know. So then it's like almost, you know, I get resentful because it's like a reflection on me, where I want to say, like, bro, like, you're not, you know, you can't land a high functioning one because you are low functioning. Right? Yeah, it's crazy. You know, and my son, you know, because my son is like, you know, he's pretty good. He's got his stuff somewhat together, pretty together, whatever. But yeah, so anyway, so I said to my girl, I was like, yo, dog, this girl's going to look for, she's going to look for a green card. You know, and it's these things, they don't happen right away. I don't know, you know. So, whatever, months and months go by after, I think, and I'm not trying to, I don't know if I'm automatically making myself the victim or if I'm not a victim or whatever. But I remember, like, my little one, and I'm saying, like, no, like, why being so, like, not so negative, I guess, prejudice or whatever, that this person has ulterior motives. I'm like, dude, they have the right fucking costume for all of that. They have the right outfit. They have the right resume, dog. I was like, yo, I need to do, you know, I got to find a way to stay here, right? It's not like they met in school. They met on fucking Tinder or whatever. You know, these swipe things. So anyway, so then they come to me Friday like, oh, we're going to get engaged. I was like, what? And I was laughing to myself because I was like, oh, I knew this was coming. You know, I knew it was coming. And then I was just like, okay, well, what's the plan? I'm like, well, you know, we really, you know, I want to help her get, basically, the girl allegedly can't find work because she doesn't have any papers or something. In my mind, you know, bro, they can be a hostess, they can be this, that, and the third, they can, whatever. I mean, I don't know. Off the books, something, who knows? There are plenty undocumented people, you know, working. You know, or whatever. I don't know, either way. So they disguised it as that. Like, oh, you know, we're in love and this. I was like, dude, okay. Here's what we got. I said, first things first, or, you know, you have to go to a lawyer. Find out what the process is. Get engaged. And find out what it's going to take to unwind this should it not work out. And this is where, like, I think in a previous episode where I was talking about, like, where you know, telling somebody the truth is like an act of love. You know, I can't be like, hey, woohoo, good for you. Like, it's not like, oh, I have all my shit together and I met somebody, we fell in love, we're getting engaged. It's like, no, I'm living in a room in your house, in your apartment, whatever, barely working, barely getting by. With no real structure or plan, and now I'm going to marry somebody who doesn't have any papers. And I'm like, dude, bro. But what they did say, they said all of the right things. They were like, listen, you know, they felt motivated by, like, well, I got to get my shit together. I got to get a big boy job, and I have to get my own place, and I have to do this, that, and the third. So now I'm like, oh, my God, maybe this is the motivating thing for you to do all of that, because you're going to need to in order to get married, because you are not living in my house. Like, there is no other couples that are living in my house at all. Like, yeah, it doesn't exist. Like, nobody could live in my crib. You know, my girl even, and it was funny because my girl knew and the little one knew. They all found out the same day, and then she said that she wanted to tell me on her own. So I said, okay, that's the deal. Okay. So, but here's the thing. And I gave her different examples of how, you know, when the law gets into your life. The law gets into your life when it comes to getting married. What do you think? Marriage is about love? Like, no, it's a fucking real deal. So the law gets into your life, and then here we are, right? What happens? You know, you have a situation now like a legal binding situation. And I told her a couple of stories of friends of mine where it didn't work out. And when the person is non-compliant about leaving or about separating, what could happen. I had a friend of mine that, you know, well, he's been on the show. I'm not going to say his name. But, yeah, dude, he was with this girl. And she had him locked up a few times with restraining orders or whatever because she was being spiteful and staying in his apartment, which was rent-controlled. But she had one bill coming over there, so she had legal right to the apartment or something. And this guy couldn't even go back to his own place, that he had to pay the rent all the time because if he didn't, he would lose the apartment. Meanwhile, he couldn't even go back there to get his own clothes without a police escort. And they weren't even married. But that's what happens when the law gets involved in your life. That's why, as a Republican, I like small government. That's why I am pro-choice. And that's why, you know, I am the way that I am, because it's a lot. There's a lot of legal things. I said, you know, there's this, there's that. I said, what happens? You guys get married and you're working and this person is not even decides like within a year or two that they don't want to work anymore. And all of a sudden now you're there supporting them and you're stuck there. Now you have to stay there. Like that's like crazy, you know, and that could happen with people who are legit getting married. That could happen, you know? And then what happens when you separate? Somebody's going to have to pay alimony, even though you guys are two females. So one of you is going to have to pay. And so you might be in a position where you have to support this person for the rest of your life in some way. And it's like such a, it's like a bad fucking deal if it doesn't work out. Because like you can just have like a healthcare proxy and be living with somebody you love and all this other stuff. And they can be like your wife in the eyes of the Lord. They don't have to be like your legally bound wife. You know, you can give them legal rights without all of that other stuff. You know, I don't know. But I was like painting this whole picture for them. I said, so that being said, my job, I told her, I said, my job is number one, to make sure you're safe and make sure, you know, I can't make sure, but I have to let you know, like, I want you to, this is what I want for you. I want you to be safe and I want you to be happy in that order. Which means that I have to be honest with you about what could go wrong and how you can not fall into those traps. And that's what happened. You know, they were like, okay. I said, all right, so here we are. So first things first is to get engaged then, you know, is to get engaged. And next step is, like I said, go see a lawyer, and then you got to get your life together. You got to get an apartment, or you got to get a crib, because you're not staying in my house. I said, that would never happen. I said, your mom doesn't even like people sleeping over. What do you think, because you're married, that this person could move in? No way. And then they sat on that for like a few hours, and then hours later, after we were done working, they were like, they said to me, like, oh, well, you said a little while ago that that's impossible for them to live in our house. And I was like, yeah, it's not happening. It's like, what if they paid rent or whatever? I said, nobody's paying rent to me in my own apartment. You need to pay rent in your own place. That was it. And that's like a hard line. Like, yo, you gotta fucking figure it out. And then I hope they do. And then after that, after I say, okay, this is what I think, and what I know to be true, then, hey, bro, good luck. You know, good luck. And I bought them a bottle of wine. I gave them to them. I said, listen, go celebrate with your girl, whatever, after they were done working. I paid them for the day, beep-pop-po. And then now, you know, and then I see them yesterday. This was Friday, and I see them yesterday. The girl already gave her the ring, right? And then in my mind, I'm thinking like, bro, you don't even come show me like, hey, look, I got engaged. Here's the ring. Like, there's none of that. It's just they're walking around. Like, I hear her in the other room, like the mom and the sister see the ring, but she don't see it. But like, not, you know, like they have to go and chase her. I'm like, dude, you see, like, there's no integrity with what is going on. Otherwise, I'd be proud, you know. So the reason why I had the cigar moment was because, you know, I said to my girl, I texted her, I said, instead of like, yo, I told you so, blah, 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 I said I had mentioned this a while ago that this could happen. And here we are. So there's that. So that happened on Friday in the same day. And also in the same day, you know, Elon reneged on, he's trying to renege on a Twitter deal. So I was like, oh, I'm fucking 2 for 2. Because I knew that was happening months ago because he's the ultimate pump fake guy, even though I really believe in what he's doing. But, yeah. You know, it's the ultimate pump fake. And I bought some puts and I made some money. And I took that money and I put it in some NLY to get that dividend, 12%. You can't beat that. NLY, Nancy, Larry, Yoga. And this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. But the dividend is really high. I think it's like, yeah, it's like fucking Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Look at my youngest daughter just texted. Do you guys want Chinese food? I'm going to pay. Oh, my God. Number one, I don't know if I could do Chinese. And number two, the fact that they even want to pay is like, you know, it melts my heart. Yeah, the NLY dividend is, Jesus, at this price. Right now it's $6.12 a share. Bro, annual dividend yield is 14.3%. That's a lot. Year to date, it's down 23%. Jesus Christ. You know, where did I start buying? I started buying it, let me see, 6 months. Yeah, it's down like 23%. Well, 23% in the last 6 months. So let's see, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. Whoosh, it's down 50%. Yeah, it's at $6. So that's a good place to buy it. And I don't know. I don't see it going down to fucking $3, 50% more than where it is now. But, you know, at 14%, it's hard to say no. Either way, so that's what I did with my Twitter put winnings, which wasn't a lot. I put like $1,000 in there, and I made like $4,000. And that was nice. But if I would have held it, it would have been even more. But then I also bought some other stuff. So, yeah. So, like, you know, how do I deal with, the non-compliance? Like, it to me is, and like my girl's like, so she's not angry, but she's like let down, you know, like let down or whatever. And I was like, dude, you're let down. I said, I get it. I said, but this is so far from actually being reality that, like, my kid thinks it's like happening very quickly. Like, no, because like, unless you're going to get married and not live together, imagine that. This girl, her partner is going to get like, number one, it's like to prove you're being married for love, to get papers is not easy to do. My son, who's a photographer, he told me, he's like, yo, somebody hired him to shoot these family photograph pictures to make it look like they're a family, in order to, you know, to do whatever. And this was like many years ago. You know, Jesus, got to be like 7, 8 years ago. I don't even know. So, yeah, so there was that. He's like, yo, even then, like, you know, they don't just get, the green card doesn't just get mailed to you. So it's very possible that, it's just so crazy. I think they have to stay married for so long, you know. I mean, I'll do a quick Googles now. You know, let's see, how long do you need to be married for a green card? Oh, USCIS will issue you a conditional marriage green card if you've been married for less than 2 years at the time of your interview. You can apply for a permanent marriage green card after 2 years of marriage. Oh, it's not bad, 2 years. Can I lose my green card if I get divorced? The vast majority of green card holders are mostly unaffected by divorce. 3 years. Yeah, not bad. Oh, a 10-year green card. I don't even know what that is. Whatever. Either way, it's not my thing. And like, so I was able to be supportive. I don't even know if it's supportive. I think it's more just like I didn't pour water on the whole thing. I just didn't. And I was able to just do that and just say, hey, man, look, we're going to watch this thing play out. It's similar to like, my son with the apartment. I'm just going to have to watch it play out. And it's a lot better for me when I do that instead of trying to get involved and try to, trying to control them, I guess. Maybe this is like a parenting podcast. I don't know. Or whatever. Who knows? But this is real life stuff. And how am I handling this as like a sober thing about I'm going through all this stuff, that. And, I had to fire somebody, or whatever. I did that a couple of weeks ago, like a week and a half ago. I had to let somebody go, which was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, but I had to do it. And that's like the hardest thing about owning a job. Owning a business is like, dude, when you have to fire people, it fucking sucks. It just sucks. So there's a lot of extra work for me on the table at the moment. But either way, so it's like all this emotional stuff that I have to face head on without drinking or drugging or any kind of anesthetizing. It's legit just like, hey, this is real life, and you can't just have a few pops when you're done and be like, okay, I guess that was bad. Like, I have to live through every single feeling and every single emotion. It's what I have to. It's imperative. It really is. It's imperative. So, I'm interested in watching how, watching somebody else's reality come to actual reality. Like when they find out what they have to do in order to really be married, they're going to be like, whoa. It's a lot. It's not as easy. Life is not as easy as people make it. Not make it, but like, you want it to, maybe you just want it to be easier than it is. And you find out like, Jesus. And I told them about this, said, okay, look, when I met your mom, you guys were little kids and nobody, and I was just like, hey, look, I can, I can just, I can be a partner with this lady who I'm fucking completely in love with. She's everything. She got these 2 kids, and the 2 kids were like, it was a very tough decision for me because I was like, dude, my son is already older. I've already finished raising kids and whatever, but I was like, all right, I'll do it. But, and not like surrendering, but like saying, okay, I'm down. And there were so many, like, I always say, like, kids, they're just like unguided missile, man. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And the amount of disruptions that have happened that I couldn't foresee coming has been crazy. It's been crazy. And that's what it is. And I'm just like, so I explained that to them too. I said, look, here's the thing. An example is like, okay, you were being overwhelmed by life at one point or another, this, that, and the third, whatever it was, right? And you wanted to check yourself into a hospital, right? Which is fine. It's just part of life, I guess, sometimes. So, yeah, so when you go away, I said, here's what happens. Just going to see you back and forth every day for 10 days, that's 2 weeks. Bro, that's fucking $2,000 in taxis. That's what that is. And they were just like looking at me like, oh. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and I didn't sign up for that when I started dating your mom. I didn't sign up for all these other things. Like, so the point of the story is that like I found out as I met each one of those obstacles that I am in love and this is the right person and I do want to stay because I guess I stayed and here we are and I could walk away at any time. Anybody can. So like you don't even know how much you love or don't love somebody until these obstacles happen. And I didn't want them to feel bad about going to the hospital. But the truth is that like, bro, you need to understand what happens that your life affects other people. That you're not the only person that is living your experience. That's what you need to understand. So you never know what's going to happen with this girl. Hopefully it does work out and everything is hunky-dory. But, you don't want to be living a life where you're closing doors on yourself. And then I told her a story because my son was working with one of our guys in a restaurant. I don't know, many years ago. Anyway, so this lady comes up to my son, right? My son, he's of age. He's 27 now, so maybe he was 20, 22, 25. Who fucking knows? No, I definitely wasn't 25. But he was young, below 25, in between 20 and 25. And it was this lady comes up like, oh, my son starts chit-chatting, whatever. She's like, listen, why don't you marry my daughter? And she brings out her daughter, who's like, whatever, a Sheepshead Bay, Coney Island, Russian girl, 18 years old or whatever. She's like, why don't if you marry my daughter, I'll give you $35,000. Says that. And I was like, and then my son was like, what? He's like, yeah, 35 grand. And he was contemplating it. And then the guy works for me who's, in an authoritative figure a little bit in his life. He's like, kind of like a big brother to him. Like, big brother Ori, whatever. So Ori goes, 1 second. No thanks for the Chinese. So Ori goes and he pours water on the whole thing right away. He's like, nah, man, no. Like, you can't, A, don't even consider it. B, stay away from him. Blah, 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 And it was funny because we were laughing about that. My son and I, when I told him what the other kid wants to do and get married. He was like, yo, remember that lady offered $35,000? You don't even know what that's attached to. You don't even know if this person, you don't even know what's going to come along. And that's the deal. That you don't know what's going to come along. You never know what you never know what kind of, what kind of fruit is going to fall from the tree. If you want to be like all philosophical about it. Like, you just don't know. You just don't know. So it's, even though I can say, hey, look, this thing that you have right now looks like a fucking, I'm watching it grow and I've seen it before and it really looks like a fig tree, and they're like, no. This is a pear tree. I'm like, I know you want it to be a pear tree, but it's really a fig tree. And I'm seeing the figs. But what can I say? The only thing I could do is just protect myself. Say, hey, listen, yeah. And then just be there for you, not with the I told you so, or not with too much of that when you find out. And I would love to be wrong. I love being wrong. That's the other thing is I love being wrong. If I'm wrong, that would be incredible. But even if I am wrong, you should still protect yourself at all times when it comes to this kind of shit. It's very important. It really is. Yeah. So now, this is where we're at. And I'm laughing, man. I'm fucking laughing because life is what it is. Life is what it is. And, I've been working really hard. We're almost closing on that one crib. And, we're on our way. And my mom is planning this big other thing. My sister's like gravestone unveiling with like a barbecue with my family or whatever. It's like a big shindig. That's coming at the end of the month. There's all of that stuff. So it's a lot of, it's a lot of things. It really is. And it's funny because like, I don't really have to get too involved, but I have to show up, and that's the difference. How do I show up without getting involved? And that's what, I learned that in AA. That I can just say, hey, man, I just got to do my thing and be a guest. And just be a guest. Anyway, let me run. I love you guys. We'll drop this thing maybe tomorrow or something, whatever. And I'll get back around to more consistency. This felt good. I miss you. I love you. Peace. Okay, everybody, we'd like to thank you for joining us on the Spiritual Experience. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, Pandora, everywhere. And please find us on Facebook, where you can become part of our family. We'll see you around.